Why you should grow your own food. An earlier video I released described the science behind nutrition and why it was vital for mental health, using depression as the example. Extending off that thought, this video will discuss why planting, harvesting, and eating your own produce is worth the effort. Planting a vegetable garden is a healthy way to relieve stress, eat healthier and safer, provide better nutrition to your family with fresh vegetables, and get some exercise while enjoying the warm sun and environment. By planting and tending to your garden, you control what you eat as well as how it is grown. You'll be feeding your family fresher fruits and vegetables that you get to control. Even apartment or flat dwellers can produce a nice size vegetable garden on their balconies. Most developments will allow flower box-sized gardens. Indoor vegetable gardening is the best way to get fresh organic produce economically. Whether you have a green thumb or not, you can grow vegetables indoors. No worrying about weather, battling insects, or slimy slugs. Planting an indoor vegetable garden is a surprisingly simple process, and most of all, you can't get any more local than homegrown. Mental and spiritual benefits. Gardening inspires us with hope on a large scale. We better understand the cycles of life through the evolutions of our plant life. A garden provides an oasis of calm. It is a form of meditation, of being lost in the moment. It calms the conscious mind, developing creativity, building confidence, and allowing a healthy outlet for emotions. When we nurture a garden, we increase our connection and our sense of well-being. Physical exercise releases endorphins, which help to alleviate stress and its negative results. A healthy dose of gardening will foster a good night's sleep. Simply spending time in a garden, enjoying the sights, sounds, and smells around us, can invoke a powerful sense of belonging and spiritual peace. Furthermore, gardening promotes a sense of achievement. Depressed individuals who feel no sense of control in their lives or in their environments often gain back positive feelings of self-worth by nurturing another living being from birth. Exercise and physical benefits. Tending a vegetable garden is physical work that burns calories and uses muscles. Planting a vegetable garden will promote good health and give you some nice gentle exercise. It provides the regular physical exercise listed in the prevention of heart disease, obesity, adult onset diabetes, and high blood pressure. Studies have shown that simply being in a garden lowers blood pressure. Please learn proper techniques so you don't hurt yourself. Check with your doctor if you have specific concerns. Social benefits and life skills. Gardening connects us with people. It's also a great activity to do with kids. Give them a section of the garden all their own. Gardening can be especially beneficial for people with special needs or those recovering from illness. Gardening promotes an increased range of motion, develops eye-hand coordination, improves motor skills, and increases self-esteem. Gardening can also help with the development of social and intellectual skills, including those needed for social inclusion or rehabilitation, as well as basic skills like literacy and numeracy. Gardening improves your problem-solving skills and gives individuals the opportunity to stretch those creative muscles. Flavor. You pick vegetables out of your garden just when you need them, so they are always fresh and delicious. One perk of gardening is the exposure to new varieties you may not have seen or tried before. Seed catalogs and garden centers offer seemingly endless options in varying colors and shapes, often with charming historical names. Thousands of varieties of tomatoes are at your fingertips, versus the simple red, round tomato in supermarkets. A tomato grower who supplies a large market needs to grow varieties that ripen all at once for a more economical harvest that can survive shipping in good condition, while a home gardener can select tomatoes for flavor, extended harvest, and color. The same is true for many other crops. The food tastes better and you know it has not been sprayed with chemicals. You do not know how long the food has been stored for. This means that it might not taste as fresh as growing your own and being able to pick a fresh apple from your own tree. When you cook with store-bought vegetables, you may find the flavor missing. By cooking your own vegetables, this will allow for a better tasting experience. Many studies have shown that organically grown food has more minerals and nutrients that we need than food grown with synthetic pesticides. There's a good reason why many chefs use organic foods in their recipes. they taste better. Organic farming starts with the nourishment of the soil, which eventually leads to the nourishment of the plant and, ultimately, our bodies. Cost savings. Vegetables from your own garden are free. Even though there is some initial expense to starting a vegetable garden, you still can reduce your weekly grocery bill by growing your own produce. If you buy in bulk and clip coupons for a variety of packaged foods, gardening may not cut the cost of your regular grocery bill. But if you love to buy fresh produce, especially organic, you can confidently reduce your monthly expenditures. Cost efficiency is an age-old reason to grow your own food since seeds, sun, and nature's soil are not expensive. However, like any hobby, gardening can get pricey if you choose to purchase lots of equipment or gardening gadgets. All food grown in your garden is healthy and good for you. Supermarkets are getting expensive these days, and it is going to save you money if you grow your own fruit and vegetables in your own back garden. I researched the yearly cost of what the average family spent on vegetables and fruits a year, and most spend $2,600 per annum. So growing your own vegetables and fruit is worth it. Protect future generations. The average child receives 4 times more exposure than an adult to at least 8 widely used cancer-causing pesticides in food. Food choices you make now will impact your child's future health. Lower environmental footprint. Many mass-produced vegetables travel thousands of miles by the time they arrive at the grocery store. Most of them are packaged in man-made materials such as plastic and cardboard. Growing your own vegetable garden is an easy way to benefit the environment by reducing the carbon emissions and waste created by shipping and packaging vegetables. Did you know that the growing, processing, packaging, storing and transporting of what we eat make up 37% of the average person's eco-footprint? Freshly eaten homegrown food produces no greenhouse emissions. Your homegrown food travels meters instead of hundreds or thousands of kilometers. Your organically homegrown food is clean, free from genetic modification, chemical pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides and pesticides. Keep chemicals off your plate. Many pesticides approved for use by the EPA were registered long before extensive research linking these chemicals to cancer and other diseases had been established. Now the EPA considers 60% of all herbicides, 90% of all fungicides and 30% of all insecticides carcinogenic. A 1987 National Academy of Sciences report estimated that pesticides might cause an extra 4 million cancer cases among Americans. If you are growing your own food, you have control over what does, or doesn't, go into it. The bottom line is that pesticides are poisons designed to kill living organisms and can also harm humans. In addition to cancer, pesticides are implicated in birth defects, nerve damage and genetic mutations. Prevent soil erosion. The Soil Conservation Service estimates more than 3 billion tons of topsoil are eroded from the United States croplands each year. That means soil erodes 7 times faster than it's built up naturally. Soil is the foundation of the food chain in organic farming. However, in conventional farming, the soil is used more as a medium for holding plants in a vertical position so they can be chemically fertilized. As a result, American farms are suffering from the worst soil erosion in history. Protect water quality. Water makes up 2/3 of our body mass and covers 3/4 of the planet. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates pesticides, some cancer-causing, contaminate the groundwater in 38 states, polluting the primary source of drinking water for more than half the country's population. Save energy. American farms have changed drastically in the last 3 generations, from family-based small businesses dependent on human energy to large-scale factory farms. Modern farming uses more petroleum than any other single industry, consuming 12% of the country's total energy supply. More energy is now used to produce synthetic fertilizers than to till, cultivate and harvest all the crops in the United States. If you are growing your own food in the city, you are cutting down on transportation and pollution costs. Protect farm workers and help small farmers. A National Cancer Institute study found that farmers exposed to herbicides had 6 times more risk than non-farmers of contracting cancer. In California, reported pesticide poisonings among farm workers have risen an average of 14% a year since 1973 and doubled between 1975 and 1985. Field workers suffer the highest rates of occupational illness in the state. Farm worker health is also a serious problem in developing nations, where pesticide use can be poorly regulated. An estimated 1 million people are poisoned annually by pesticides. Although more and more large-scale farms are making the conversion to organic practices, most organic farms are small, independently owned family farms of fewer than 100 acres. It's estimated the United States has lost more than 650,000 family farms in the past decade. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture predicted that half of this country's farm production will come from 1% of farms by the year 2000. Organic farming could be one of the few survival tactics left for family farms. Promote biodiversity. Monocropping is the practice of planting large plots of land with the same crop year after year. While this approach tripled farm production between 1950 and 1970, the lack of natural diversity of plant life has left the soil lacking in natural minerals and nutrients. To replace the nutrients, chemical fertilizers are used, often in increasing amounts. Single crops are also much more susceptible to pests, making farmers more reliant on pesticides. Despite a tenfold increase in the use of pesticides between 1947 and 1974, crop losses due to insects have doubled, partly because some insects have become genetically resistant to certain pesticides. Help beautify your community. Besides being used to grow food, community gardens are also a great way to beautify a community, and to bring pride and ownership. Learning, an outdoor classroom. Backyard gardens teach children about the origin of food, creating a powerful connection to the dinner plate that's simply magical. Kids can help plant, water, weed, and harvest produce, and after spending time caring for the plants, they'll be more apt to eat the fruits of their labor. This same magic has an effect on adults, too. When you toss a homegrown salad together, cook a pot of greens, or serve a stir-fried medley of vegetables, you have a deeper appreciation of its amazing path to your plate. Growing your own food encourages and facilitates learning, particularly in science. Builds skills, including life, enterprise and employment-related skills. Improves awareness and understanding of the natural environment. Promotes health and well-being in relation to diet and nutrition. Supports school improvement and development. Strengthens communities and interaction. Improves achievement. A standout finding of the report was the benefits school food growing activity had on academic achievement. Schools cited supporting the outdoor curriculum, 68%, supporting the science curriculum, 57%, and supporting the food technology curriculum, 39%, as motivations for growing food in their school. Further evidence showed enhanced scientific understanding, numeracy, literacy, and language skills. Builds life and employability skills. Aside from the emphasis on improving learning, the task force found that the activity of growing food in schools also supported the acquisition of life skills, including financial literacy and enterprise skills. Interestingly, communication and employment skills were also enhanced. It also found signs of improved motivation and behavior, for example arriving early to school and leaving later, increased attendance and completion of homework and less disruptive classroom behavior. Improves health and well-being. One of the report's key findings is the evidence that proves school food growing promotes good health through improved diet and nutrition and better well-being through improved self-esteem and self-confidence. 73% of schools cited teaching children about nutrition as a motivation for food growing, 68% for giving them skills for a healthy adult life and 33% for encouraging exercise. Evidence showed improved understanding of food and nutrition, increased willingness to try fruit and vegetables and increased consumption of fruit and vegetables, and school meals where food grown in school is incorporated into school catering were also increased.